Hello and welcome to the DCV news for the 12th of December 2017. Merry Christmas everyone. I hope to see many of you over Christmas, either at Christmas do this coming Friday or on the rides. If I don't, then I hope all your families and yourself have a great Christmas and that Santa manages to get the bike you want down the chimney. This edition of the news is a bumper one, as we have had the news from the formal meeting on the 4th of December. I will post the official minutes on the website today. So let's get started. First, some announcements on club officials. We have a vacancy for treasurer, so please let me know if you would like to take on that role. We need to formalise it at the AGM in February. The main bit of news from my point is that I need to step away for the next year or so, as I currently have 2 businesses to run and limited time to do anything else. This has been the same this year, and I feel I'm holding the club back as I can't do as much as I could have. I'm not going away and will still be at the meetings and riding, but I can't do all the things that I want to do and should have been doing over the last year. So I really need to step away for a bit and catch up on things that I need to catch up on whilst the club also grows. So we need to figure out a way of getting that done. So that leaves a vacancy for a new chairman. Please let us know if you're interested. I can let you know what it involves ahead of the AGM. And over the next few weeks we can see whether it's something that you'd be interested in doing, and maybe that it needs to be split and shared, whichever way we want to do it. One suggestion was that I became president, and another that I stay as chairman and the new person is vice chairman. I'm happy to explore any ways of doing it. It's whatever works best for the club. Like I said, I'm not going away. I just want the club to do as well as it possibly can. So moving on to the next issue, which was membership. We've had around 8 people join up in the last month. Please do so if you can, and if you have not. We decided that those not joining by the end of December will be removed from the Strava Club and won't be allowed to join the club runs. I'll be sending out an email to all those who have lapsed memberships over the next week or so. Secretary Angela is working on the welcome email for people so that they know exactly how everything works and where all the information is, and also looking at the club membership card, so we should have that sorted out soon. One of the big topics of discussion was the club goal. So what do we actually exist for? We discussed that the goal of the club should be that we actually encourage and support group riding. The whole point is that it's much more fun to ride together as opposed to riding by ourselves. So that should be the focus and the core of the club. We think that's where it should be, but again, this needs to be agreed at the AGM and future meetings. Cancelled rides. I explained that the previous week's 3 cancelled rides, that was not the week just gone but the week before, were cancelled due to bad weather, and that wasn't just because it was raining and it wasn't good to be out in it. It was icy and it could have been unsafe. Safety is always paramount, and we don't want any official club events where people are put in danger. So that was why they were cancelled. It also was cancelled at the request of the ride leaders on all the occasions. If somebody has stepped up to be the ride leader, it's their decision whether the ride goes ahead or not. So if they say for any reason that they want the ride cancelled, then we cancel the ride. It's not something that we do lightly, and one thing that was mentioned at the meeting was that if rides are cancelled, then maybe we should just say, if you want to go out and get together and ride together, that's entirely down to yourselves, but it's not a sanctioned club event. Discussion was also had on the default ride in these cases. So say we'd arranged a ride to go to Causey Arch, and that didn't go ahead, the official club route didn't go ahead. Maybe the default is that if anybody turns up at the appointed time, so 10 o'clock on a Saturday at the King's Lodge, then we just ride to see him, but it's not an official club ride. So again, this really needs some discussion and some agreement. We'll need to discuss it at the January formal, which is on January the 8th, and agree it formally at the AGM in February. Ride leaders. We discussed the need for ride leaders and the need to train and support them. Can all that have led rides or want to lead rides get in touch so we can start planning this? We also discussed training sessions for all group riding, just kind of getting together at Snipely at the enclosed car park that we have on a Sunday and just practicing riding as a group to get those that have a bit of hesitation about it to understand why it's beneficial and why it's good to do that. New leaders being we also discussed that new leaders who want to lead a ride should really be a support leader on rides and identify that, and so that they can understand exactly what's needed. We also discussed a written guide on leading a ride leaders' mobile numbers being published in the events so that all had their details in case they got lost. Extra club points for leading a club ride, so there's actually some reward for stepping up and being a ride leader. Maybe purchasing a club Garmin with mapping to help on the routes. All of these are areas that need more discussion at the upcoming meetings. Events. Suggestion was made of organising short touring trips next year. Lots of agreement and something that needs taking forward at the coming meetings. Club kit. I've got all the info needed from Callis, and we now need to work, myself and Angela, the club secretary, to get her up to speed so we can get orders placed. Discussion was also had around getting everyone on club runs to be in club colours, and an idea was to source a low cost jacket or gilet, so that then everybody had a top layer that had DCV on it. Doesn't matter what you wear underneath as long as you've got DCV on the top. Another area that we discussed was the club run starting points. We talked about the fact that the current position at the King's Lodge is quite a hard place to ride out from. Consideration needs to be made to keep it in Durham City and to allow free parking, but apart from that, we've got various options. Some options were suggested, and that's in the minutes if you want to read those. What we need to do is flesh these out, try them, and then agree them and formalise them. Club runs. Neil Morton said he was planning to move the Sunday runs from the tracks to the road in the spring. David Tomlinson suggested that we switch Saturday rides between road and the tracks and cyclocross to give a bit of variety. Again, let's have some feedback on that and decide whether that's what wants to be done, and then we can decide on that and action it. We also wanted to move towards having rides published for 4 weeks in advance so that people can make plans and decide whether they want to do the rides or not do the rides. The AGM was discussed, and it was agreed that we should have the AGM and the club awards at the same time, so that then we can do the AGM, do all the formal stuff, get that out of the way, and then have the awards afterwards so we can all have a bit of relax and have a bit of fun and reward everybody that's done great stuff in the club and in cycling over the last year, actually 2 years, because we didn't have an award ceremony last year, so it'll be a bumper awards. We've agreed that would be in mid-February, and that John Hitch would arrange something at the King's Lodge. We need somebody to arrange the actual awards and figure out what we're going to do, so please get in touch if that's something that you can help us do, and get that organised and order the trophies. Where as soon as Christmas is over, we've only got 6 weeks to actually get the trophies ordered and in. It's doable, but we need to get on it as soon as we can do. So in summary, as I've prepared the news this week, it struck me that we need people to take responsibility for certain roles in the club so we can move things forward. Please step up and let us know what you're interested in doing. No matter how small amount of time you can give it, it'll make things better for everyone. We have our next formal meeting on January the 8th. Please come along, or email, message me, or call me with suggestions or things you want to talk about. Even if you can't be there, just have your input. Lastly, have a great Christmas, and remember, DCV is your club, so let's make it even better.